Ruth Martins, Rossella Sagliocco, Alfredo is here, Sabrina also, and
Martins
also. So we are we are a full team. So if I can invite to the floor or to the screen, it's better to say Ruth Martins, how to pronounce in Portuguese?
Yeah.
Martins.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she will present us in the session focused on communication, branding, and sport tourism. She will present environmental campaigns in sport tourism events, testing the sport sustainability campaign evaluation model in surfing. So we already today heard about the green surfing in Portugal. I don't know if you were focused on the similar or the same area for surfing, but you will present it. So please, you can start with your presentation.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I will focus on surfing. I didn't know anyone else was focusing also on surfing.
Yeah, okay.
So surf is on the top. It's popular. I will share. Can I share?
Yes, please.
Yes. So, am I sharing? Are you seeing all?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
And I'm not able to give you some recommendations because yesterday I was fighting very strongly with this. But
okay, so just now. And how can I go to share? Okay. So I'm sorry for this confusion.
Colleagues, are you somebody able to help?
No, I think
now it starts.
Are you seeing?
Perfect. Yeah. Yes. Me, yes. And others, please.
So, are you seeing all?
I see.
Yeah. So if we are two, it means that all can see your presentation. Okay. I would like to tell that you have approximately no more than 20 minutes for your presentation, and after we will have time for discussing after each communication, not together in the end of everything. Yes.
Okay,
so please.
Okay.
Time you have time enough. So
yes, time enough. I will not spend 20 minutes here. So thank you, Irena. I'm just like Irena said, good afternoon to you all. My name is Ruth Martins in Portuguese. I'm from Lisbon. I'm from the University of Lisbon, the Faculty of Human Genetics, and I will present a study on surfing. So, as Irena said, environmental campaigns in sport tourism events, testing the sport sustainability campaign evaluation model in surfing. So this study was made by me together with Professors Elsa, Pereira, António, João, Marôco, McCullough, and Margarida Mascarenhas.
Ruth, may I ask you to share whole screen without your notes?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, to close it.
Please. Yes, it's for not mistaking in the English, so I take some notes. Okay.
It is demand of somebody from the group for me, it doesn't matter if I see also your notes.
Okay, no, but I can now.
Better to share something than nothing. That, yes.
Yes. Now, am I sharing now? Yes.
Not yet. It takes
No.
time a bit. We can wait.
Oh my God.
Not yet. It will operate. Seconds.
Okay, I think now it's going to work. So please share.
Yeah. Now,
are you
and
seeing all screen now?
now it's perfect.
With my notes.
Without.
Okay. So my notes are the explanation of the PowerPoint. So it was even better with the notes. But here you focus on the image. That is also very highlight. So as I said, this is our study. That I will begin by making an introduction, reviewing some concepts and the main objective of the study. Then I will refer to the methods that we use with the description of the context and the procedures that we use to collect and analyze the data. And at the end, of course, the results and the implications for the management of sport tourism events. So it's important to say and to start by saying that the recent orientations from the World Tourism Organization for the sport tourism segment in specific are aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals from the United Nations 2030 Agenda. So following this guideline, there is the recognition of the potential of sport tourism to leverage environmental sustainability through raising the awareness of the sport actors and also with the implementation of environmental strategies and measures in sport events. It is not only the World Tourism Organization who has concern about the environmental sustainability, but also major organizations.
Ruth, can you manage something with your microphone, because the sound is sometimes in very long distance from us. Yeah, be careful with this movement of your head. Maybe it can.
Yes.
Maybe it can help. I don't know.
Okay, now it's good. Are you listening?
Now it sounds good, and
don't move. Right?
Don't move. Okay. Yes.
Okay, I'm not moving. It's in fact my way to talk.
Yeah, it's you are from south and you use the hands, but I understand I do it as well. So please continue.
Okay. Still, so as I was saying, nature organizations
No, there's
and action. So it is important to say that the organization of green sport events and environmental education initiatives, such as fan engagement campaigns, are the most mentioned environmental practices adopted by sport organizations. So it is important to evaluate the effectiveness and the impacts of such efforts. Moreover, it is important to do this evaluation considering the demand side, such as the spectators, since they are an important stakeholder group to engage not only during the implementation of more sustainable strategic management, but also in the evaluation of event sustainability performance. So making the connections between surf content and the environmental theme. Some studies have highlighted the surf community's connection to nature and this environmental activism. Some of some environmental campaigns of several NGOs like the Surf Riders Foundation or the Surf Against Sewage, and also the environmental commitment of some of the major event sponsors and the surf industry has become prevalent in the surf country. Following this line, World Surf League, a major organization in the surfing country, the most surf championship, recently joined the Sport Climate Action Framework, developed a specific department within the organization, WSL, and also is committed to putting on carbon neutral events, taking part in carbon offset projects, eliminating single-use plastics, and preserving the coastal ecosystems of the old destinations. Connecting to those destinations of this study, Portugal has become an international surfing destination, hosting and supporting development of some of the major.
Sorry, Ruth. May I interrupt you a bit? Because we have problems with your noise, with some noise from your presentation. Check the connections. I don't know what can happen, because I am not only one who has troubles to hear you fully.
Okay.
There is some small echo and some.
Now I have so I will do now. Portugal.
It's a bit problematic. And move with this with your equipment a bit, if it will be better. Nothing.
Well, sorry to interrupt, but Ruth, now you have the microphone turned off. You need.
Oh, are you? Is this way better?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm sorry for the problems of audio. So, starting once again and saying that Portugal has become an international surfing destination.
No, it's okay.
Hosting some of the major events in surfing context, such as the Nazaré Big Wave Context and the World Championship in Peniche, World Qualifying Series in Università, and this is a part of the national tourism strategy to anchor surf to the destination image and leverage coastal tourism. The surf tourism development has resulted in the growth of many services directly linked to the practice of surfing. So hosting these events, it is an important issue for Portugal. So, framing the objective of this investigation, the aim is to test the sport sustainability campaign evaluation model to international surfing events by applying it to the spectators. Showing now the picture of the model, the sport sustainability campaign evaluation model proposes 8 hypotheses, namely needs. In our study, needs were wisdom, inner peace, and aesthetics. Will influence values. In our study, values were environmentalism, social justice, and tolerance. Needs will also influence attitudes. Values will have an effect on attitudes also. And attitudes will lead to intentions, sustainable intentions. Points of attachment and internal constraints will have an effect on attitudes toward the campaign, since internal campaigns will have a negative effect. Also, external constraints will have a negative effect on sustainable intentions, and past sustainable behavior will have a positive effect on sustainable intentions. So, making clear the event's context, Ericeira hosted the ADP Billabong in September 2019, pre-COVID. This event was a world qualifying series, male competition, and involved 112 surfers, including 18 elite surfers from the World Championship and 150 persons for the staff. In October 2019, Peniche hosted the Mel Rip Curl Pro, which is a stage of the World Championship Tour. The event involved 54 international male and female surfers and a sports staff team of 300 persons. The local councils were co-organizers of the event, and they've been involved in the sustainable management of the surfing destinations. For example, Ericeira is the only World Surf Reserve in Europe since 2011, and Peniche is the only Portuguese village in the process of a sustainable surf destination certification by Stoke organization. So, together with the local councils, the WSL, the World Surf League, and several local and international sponsors and suppliers, undertaken several environmental actions in the events, where the recycling and reuse topics were addressed with the disposal of the selected waste bins in the beach cleaning actions, water points to reuse the bottle, and awareness campaigns like the Beat the Plastic campaign in niche events. The data collection was carried in local, using paper and pen, included spectators over 18 years of age. It was performed on weekdays and on weekends by a team of collaborators to cover the several days and areas where spectators could be in the event. The instrument applied was a questionnaire based on trial and McCullough study, and for this investigation were applied two versions, Portuguese and an English version, considering the international context of the event. The data analysis was made with the structural equation modeling analysis with the relevant package from the statistical software. For the analysis, 625 questionnaires remained. The sample is mostly young, is educated, where the majority have a university degree, is active, from which 44% practice surf, and 52% female and 41% male. So passing on to the results, the model and from the it was not confirmed and also the research at the Ministry of
Sorry, Ruth. Sorry, Ruth. Me, I have again troubles with the sound. I don't know what about other participants. If you can go back to the previous picture with results and this model, maybe it will be better now.
Are you listening?
No.
I don't hear. Ricardo, please.
Yes, we cannot hear. Probably Rute has a technical problem in her computer, because sometimes, almost the times, the sound is very bad.
I'm just going to ask my husband in the next part.
Maybe it depends also on the distance of your mouth from the screen, from the microphone in your computer. I don't know. I am not expert, but sometimes it.
I will put again the phones to see.
Yeah, we will see. Try it, please, because the results seem to be interesting, but it's necessary for us to.
So now,
it's good
better?
now.
It's better.
Yeah.
It's better now. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
No, I am grateful to you to want to hear me and hear the results of our study. So, as I was saying, making a summary of our results, we could confirm the effects of needs, points of attachment, internal constraints on attitudes. We could confirm the effect of attitudes, external constraints, and past sustainable behavior on sustainable intentions. We could not confirm the effect of values on attitudes. So the model explained 42% of the variance of sustainable intentions. And this is a good value for the social sciences. So from these results, we can now make some implications for other studies and for the sport management of tourism events. So there must be a prior knowledge of needs and values that are linked to the environmental behavior to the target public. Other types of values should be measured in future studies, such as hedonic values, since there are evidence that this type of values, the hedonic values, influence the environmental behavior. As for points of attachment, the results show the possibility of a greater investment in the promotion of the identification of the spectators with the surfers, with the community, and with the surf itself for the effective for promoting for a better promotion of the environmental campaign in surfing events. For example, the use of role models to promote environmental behavior has been suggested in the sport context. And from the results of this investigation, this could be a strategy to implement at surfing events. Regarding the constraints, sport event managers should attend to the influence of internal and external constraints. From the previous slide, it was the dimension that was that had the highest loading factor. So this is significant. To promote the spectators' environmental behavior, it is important to mitigate the lack of knowledge, the lack of time, and the lack of access. For example, having a more environmental communication, making the initiatives visible to spectators through signaling, or even considering the use of volunteers to promote and educate spectators to comply with a more environmental behavior. Future, in specific for the model, future research must focus on the study of post-event behavioral intentions as a dimension that should be embraced by the model, because it could allow inferences about the effects of the environmental campaigns undertaken by sporting events. Future studies should also include the study of the spectators' expectations and perceptions on the environmental responsibility of the event's organizations. Studies have exposed the link between spectators' environmental behavior and their expectations for a more environmental management from sport event organizations. So in conclusion, this research confirmed the model capacity as a strategic management model. The sustainability sport campaign evaluation model can help sport organizations to gain valuable knowledge about their own sport consumers and to plan more effectively environmental campaigns. So thank you for your time and attention. I'm prepared to answer all your doubts.
So thank you, Rute, for your interesting presentation, because here it is the real example how to do these things, because it is necessary to be in contact with people active or passive, being passive in this sport tourism. So please to others, do you have some question, comments, remarks, because it gives really instruction how to not only get some knowledge about this topic, but how to influence people which can be involved in the area protection and in sustainable development. So raise your hands.
Maybe it was the sound.
But you had clear text.
Sorry, Irene, I can ask a question to Rute. First of all,
Yeah,
Rute,
perfect.
Rute, congratulations for your very interesting communication and by your very interesting work. My question is, what is the relation between the campaigns and the real actions taken by organizations concerning the sustainability of the events? Can you show us that can be a relation, or is just marketing about sustainability?
In this study, we didn't focus on the perceptions and expectations of the spectators regarding the environmental responsibility of sport organizations. That was a future orientation and guidance for another studies with the
future
model.
Research. But
Yes.
you
Yes.
attend the event, and what is your real perception about that?
Okay. Can I be honest?
Yeah, of course.
Yes, of course. my real perception is that self-organizations have the nature and the environmental topic on their line. So they want to do more about the environmental topic and the environmental practices. But to have an environmental responsibility is more than just to put some bins in the put some recycling bins in the beach, or even in the event finish they make a great environmental campaign focusing on the bigger plastic. But in fact, the spectators could only recycle or use the plastic cups that were reusable. So that were they shared what they could do. I think that the organization could promote more what spectators could do and inform the spectators what to do and what they could do, not only promote the awareness of the topic.
Okay.
But I think the self-organizations are involved with the environmental topic. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Ruth, for your answer, and also thank you to Margarida and Elsa and the other members of the team for this very nice work. And I'm very excited to see the next steps and also the relation between this that I'm talking about. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm also thrilled to do the other study to see, in fact, if the environmental responsibility of the organizations can have a direct impact on spectators.
Okay, thank you.
So, colleagues, other colleagues, do have some other questions? May I ask one small question? Because you spoke about the education level of spectators. Do you think that there must be some other way to work with spectators of lower socioeconomic status?
I think it's always valuable to work with all the levels of spectators regarding their education, and the environmental campaigns that were promoted, I think they were achievable for all levels of education. In my opinion, they could also be a little take a step further, since the sample is educated. Take the sample take a little further. So it is the contrary that you are asking me. So they could focus on the people that are less educated, but it was already what was done. So yeah. I think they could go a little further since the sample is educated.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Okay. So if you have no more questions, so once more, many thanks for this inspirative communication. Maybe it is not no more sport for me in my age, but I admire it because of the environmental surroundings and so on and so on. So thank you very much.
All.
No, it's late for me. Okay, so if we can switch to next communication from colleagues from Università della Campania, Luigi Vanvitelli. And if I may ask Rossella Sagliocco if I am all right with presentation of this team.
Hi everyone. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, please. Yes, please. Perfect. I cannot switch off my.
Can you see my screen?
Not yet, but I guess it comes because it takes a bit time. We are viewing. It's telling, yeah, perfect.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, but we have also it. We can see it also with your notes. So if you can switch on the presentation.
Okay. Can I start?
Perfect. Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
The screen is yours.
Perfect. Good afternoon. I'm Rossella Sagliocco, a PhD student in entrepreneurship and innovation, and with my colleagues Sabrina Celestino, a PhD student, and my professors Enrico Bonetti and Francesco Izzo are going to present our research work. The title of our research is New Forms of Communication in Sporting Tourism, the case of a bike blogger. The work is divided as follows: the aim of the study, theoretical background, method and data, findings, and limitation and future research. This study aims to understand and explore the characteristics of a bike blogger and how this figure approaches the sport and social landscape in the digital context. Despite bloggers have been studied in a wide range of contexts, there are no academic researches explaining the characteristics of a bike blogger. So to meet our goal, this study develops the concept of the digital bike blogger through an exploratory case study in Italian scenario. So our research question is: which characteristics enable a bike blogger to draw attention from readers in a digital context, and what is a rule in this context? We have divided the theoretical background into different sections. The first one about sporting tourism, but in particular bike tourism with a focus about Italian scenario, and the second one about the evolution of a blogger over the years. So sports tourism can be defined as a trip made to participate in and closely observe a sporting activity that takes place outside one's residence for recreational and competitive purposes. The concept of sport tourism has been analyzed in different sectors over the years. For example, in the case of sporting and events such as Olympic Games, or in the case of the development of healthy or active lifestyle. But at the same time, this concept hasn't been analyzed in the case of bike tourism, that in recent years has gained more ground in the world of tourism. The term bike tourism is used to define a trip made using the bicycle as a means of sightseeing, or even as the main vehicle for traveling, offering cyclists a great travel experience. According to Legambiente, in the last few years in the Italian scenario, there has been an exponential growth in the number of people choosing to spend their holidays organizing bicycle tours. As previously stated, the second part of the theoretical background focus on the evolution of blogger over the years. Bloggers have gained importance as a result of social media use. Social networks are now the most important platform for sharing knowledge and connecting people. Through these channels, individuals can convey ideas, views, feelings, and the creation and alter knowledge generation and diffusion patterns. Thanks to this platform, bloggers have become information sources in recent years. Blogs have been advertised as the people's voice, and the websites of some elite bloggers have become popular media sources. Bloggers have been studied in a wide range of context, sectors, and market segments, such as fashion, travel, food and wine, and mobility. The purpose of this study is to explore the role of a blogger in the cyclotourism context, since there are no academic studies explain their role and influence. So an exploratory case study was done to answer the research question, which characteristic enable a bike blogger to draw attention from her readers in digital context, and what is a role in this context? We choose to use a single case study approach through a semi-structured interview to Ladra di Biciclette, an important bike blogger and journalist. We also integrated secondary data from her blog and others, interviews and articles from newspaper, posts published on social media. Our interview was conducted by telephone and lasted more or less 1 hour. The entire interview was recorded with permission and then manually transcribed. The research has produced interesting results. The interview allowed us to identify 3 preliminary traits to define the figure of a bike blogger and the role played in terms of bicycle tourism. The principal 3 characteristics grouped as followed: professional traits, experience in the travel sector, and at the end, niche sector. With regard to professional traits, the profession as a journalist have offered her a certain structure in the way she writes, as well as creating the content in her blog at her best. In addition, the high reputation and credibility resulting from a long career in writing for newspapers of high importance to the Italian context facilitated her entry into the world of digital writing. The second characteristic is experience in the travel sector. She's visited over 80 countries and has written and worked almost always with a focus in this sector. So this attribute gives her an added values in terms of in-depth knowledge, not only of the bicycle as a means of transport, but as an expert on places to visit, habits, and different cultures. The third characteristic is to write for niche sector. The reference sector, that of bicycles, a niche sector, and little explored sector, especially from a female perspective, because the focus of Ladra di Biciclette is for a female perspective. Although the use of blogs is fair from the identification of a blue ocean relating to the creation, a female blog on a sector confined to the male sex, has allowed it to grow rapidly. So the rise of her blog can almost be described as a normal evolution of journalism from paper to digital. The way to convey a message has changed. Traditional media are not the most effective way of communication anymore because the audience cannot interact with the screens. Communication today is more immediate, authentic, and direct, and bloggers represent this kind of communication: immediate, direct, and authentic. This work is not free from limitation. The results cannot be generalized to create a unified theory or model. In the future research, a multiple case study could be carried out. Indeed, although the interview reveals results consistent with the objective of the research, they are limited to bicycle sector as well as to a single study, and therefore cannot be compared or extended to other sectors. However, this first approach may provide the basis for extending in the future the study to other context and country. Thank you so much for your attention. If you have any question, I'm very happy to listen it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for your modern presentation, because bloggers are nowadays very numerous and in all areas. And I can say that I'm not involved in these activities, but I heard that during the COVID period, there were some attempts to take young people, young generation from the screen, or to show them by help of bloggers how to behave in this crazy period, and this is necessary to have some exercises and so on. So sometimes it can be very useful to work with this type of media. So it is only my short note, and I ask other participants for their questions, because it's bloggers and blogs are something which is very extended now. Yeah. So questions, please.
I can put a question, if you allow me.
Yeah, perfect.
First of all, thank you for your very interesting work, Rossella and team.
Thank you.
My question is, what do you think about the relation between the conflict between the bloggers that are not professionals of the tourism professionals, and people who work professionally in tourism, and see sometimes bloggers as bad influencers because they produce and influence in a bad way, and send some wrong message about destinations, about the practices, and so on. How did you understand that conflict? Did you study it or intended to study this part of the conflict between these stakeholders?
I think in this case, it's very important to the sector, because in this case, Ladra di Biciclette is the first approach with this sector. So it is not important to make things in very professional way, but I think the way of Ladra di Biciclette is very professional, because she's a very famous Italian journalist of a very famous Italian journal, and the research is that trait of these journalists are very important in this case to generate air blog and to do that their blog is very famous in Italy, in Italian context, because air blog is the first Italian blog, and I think in Europe too, that they with the focus with with the bicycle and with the focus of female perspective. So I think the very important traits that to allow her to become very famous in Italian context is her professional trait.
Okay, thank you. But in Portugal, there is a latent conflict between bloggers that are not specialists in the field, in tourism, or in the activities that demonstrate and show the places and the activities in a different approach than the professionals, and sometimes they promote the activities in a wrong way. And that my question was in that direction. If in Italy, not just in this case, but generally, the conflict between bloggers and professionals. But thank you for your answer.
Thank you too.
João, other question, please.
I want to say a thing to Riccardo, if it's possible. I think that a blogger can be a professional in a specific sector. For example, there are some bloggers, some influencers that have studied to operate in that specific sector. For example, in our case, Ladra di Biciclette, the women, the journalists traveled for many years and written for many years in the sector of travel for an important journal in Italy called Il Sole 24 Ore. So she is not only a blogger, but a professionist in that sector.
Okay.
So for me, it's necessary to divide influencers of product, for example, and bloggers and influencers that studied for operate in certain sectors.
Yeah, thank you. I agree with that.
I don't know if it's clear.
Yeah. I agree. I completely agree, because in Portugal sometimes people that are influencers do not know the entire reality of the sport or the activity that they are talking about, and that can be a problem in some sectors, that the activities have several risks, for instance in climbing and so on. Okay, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
Another question? I guess that these influencers and bloggers are sometimes dangerous because they are not well educated, and sometimes they are very special people, I should say, and we can see it in various sectors and various areas of life. They are not able to develop something, so they only produce some words, and sometimes they dehonestate other people being active and good. So we should take it into consideration also in area of sport tourism and its sustainable feature, because some people can destroy it the endeavor of others doing something good for the society. So it was a meritum of your question, yes, I guess. So I guess
Can I?
Yeah.
Yes. Can I make a question to?
Please. It's okay. Perfect.
It's in the line what we are talking. So it's do you think it's advisable to do a study not with the Ladra or the Bicicleta, but with the, for example, with surfing that is more risky, or with the other activities that promotes more risk to who is watching that blogger, or is viewing, or is following that blogger? Do you think it's advisable to a blogger to promote climbing, for example, or I don't know, so many risky things, bungee jumping, but it's not a sport, skiing, big wave surfing in Portugal? In fact, that is, I think that the massive publications on big wave surfing and the massive publicity, it can be a problematic thing, because youngers can go big wave surfing and not know what are the risks, and what are what they have to be and to achieve before and after they go big wave surfing. So I think my question is, if it is advisable to a blogger to promote that kind of risky sport tourism activity.
I think in this way it's possible to share our different experience. And with our research, it's a first approach to analyze this sector. But in the future, it's possible to compare different sectors, such as surfing and bike tourism, to individuate the particular traits that to allow us to become famous.
So, last question, please. We have 2 minutes if you want. So, Rossella, thank you very much for your presentation, and actually to all team participating in this research. I think that you open a very important topic concerning also sport tourism and its quality, it's possible to say, and some benefits for its participants. So thank you very much, and I hope we see in future.
Thank you too.
So we can continue with last presentation we have this afternoon, and it is the floor of home people from Sapienza University, and now I am not sure who will present. I suppose Alfredo De Martini and Barbara Mazza participated in this topic, Euro 2020 and Turin ATP, leveraging model analysis. So please, you can start.
Good afternoon at all. My name is Alfredo De Martini. I am a research fellow at the University of Rome, La Sapienza. Condividi. It's okay? Can I start? Can I start?
Pardon, I should unmute. Screen is yours, please. You can present your communication.
Okay. This paper analyzes the rule of Rome Euro 2020 and ATP finals in Torino 2021 and wants to investigate the economic, social, and also communication impact on the area. Following the pandemic COVID, tourist flows have declined. A decrease of over 68 in terms of the presence of foreign tourists in Italy, a decrease of over 51 in terms of the presence of foreign tourists in Europe, and over 75 in Italian big city, Rome, Florence, Venice, and Naples. These data are from Istat, Movimento Turistico in Italia. This work was born with the aim of demonstrating the existence of a link between tourism and international sporting events. In particular, will be presented an economic and social estimate of the impact of sporting event, and they affect from possible future scenarios for the development of local and national tourism products. Specifically, paper wants to investigate what are the socio-economic implications in the promotion and development of the area. International sport events could be a driver for touristic territories development and play a key role in the economic development of the area. Can we talk about legacy for the territory? How important is sustainability? The methodology that we used is interview with key actor, specifically UEFA committee and FIGC national committee, tour operator, specifically Booking and Gattinoni travel agency, after professional and association of category, Camera di Commercio e Associazione dei Consumatori, and after institution, specifically Department of Tourism. Consultation, bibliography material, also reports, documents, research project, academic journal, and statistics official government, and also analysis of secondary source and data. From about Rome Euro 2020, we saw that among all the 12 cities that we lost the matches, Rome is the second most booked destination after San Pietroburgo. 500 journalists had access, 35% from foreign broadcaster, 15,000 visits in the last 7 days on the official website, and the official social network has those with the highest engagement rate among all host cities, with over 1 million interaction on Facebook and Instagram. About Turin ATP Finals, we analyzed that this event has media and television coverage worldwide. Over 1,000 journalists had access, 40% from foreign broadcaster. This data is about last edition in London. 10,000 visits on the official website nitoatpfinals.com and official Torino after following the award. Digital impression and social network and 10 million video playback. It's possible analyze some economic results. For Rome, 4 million in revenue from tourism for the European Football Championship. 2 and 3 days average stay, plus 37% online research to Rome as flight destination, plus 3% online research of hotel, 10,000 tickets bought by foreign citizen. The spectator expected is a number very important, and average attendance of foreign tourists tripled compared to the days before the event. Some results are also for Turin ATP Finals. For 400 million economic induced in the period for event. 3 and 4 days average, plus 20% online research to Turin destination. Ticket, spectator, and also the attendance average for tourists. There are also data about sustainability, specifically Rome 2020 investment in renewable energy project, in reduction project with European certification, and also project with for sustainable mobility and waste management. The same project we saw also for Torino, food and beverage, also kilometer zero. The energy supply, the location will be only renewable sources. We saw a project with innovation recycling, waste and collection system for collecting PET bottle, and also green public procurement is a project, national project to allow environmental impact for material and service. To finally it's possible to analyze that these events, in these events, the economic estimate have confirmed a growing interest in international sport events. The number of those who stay overnight is relatively small. A significant number of participants eat in restaurant. Maybe is necessary to improve marketing strategies and communication, in specifically sponsorship and partnership within sporting event. Maybe is very important creation a network that connect public and private, that offer different services, can bring good results. In the finally, there are evidence of an impact on local hospitality business and promoting the destination brand and image. Thank you for attention, and sorry for my English.
Yep. Thank you, Alfredo. I guess that your English was very good and we understood.
I'm not sure that my English is...
No, you must take into consideration that people who are not of English origin have the same style of speaking, and it depends only on pronunciation a bit, because we bring our own languages into the pronunciation. But everything was okay. Thank you very much for your presentation. And I guess that we can have some questions concerning this topic and this research, which showed that it's necessary to take into consideration these events. I don't think that it was the event. There were not events of there were big events, not local events of some local importance. So it is very necessary to take into consideration these things. So please, colleagues, you can put some questions to Alfredo. Participants. Do you hear me, please?
Yes. Yes.
So which questions do you have, Ricardo?
I can some question or comment about this work. First, I want to congratulate Alfredo for his communication.
Thank you, Ricardo.
The level of English is very good, as Irena said. Our accent is not so good, but it's not a problem at this level. I just want to remember, Alfredo, we met first time in 2014, the first sport tourism conference in Lille.
7 years ago. In Coimbra.
Yeah, and then you returned, you came to Portugal, and we are now here, you in Rome, and me in Coimbra, Portugal. So one quick comment and question. What, in your perspective, what challenges we have in this pandemic situation regarding big sporting events, and if there will be probably a transition to smaller events in face of this pandemic, who will allow for instance, more sustainability related with health and so on. What are your perspective about this?
For me, is a personal opinion. After pandemic, is important to realize sustainable event. It is not important that we have a big event, but also small event. It's not easy to explain for me in English. Is important realizzare eventi radicati sul territorio.
Based in the territory, the local
Yeah.
territory with people from the territory.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, smaller events, not big scale, but
it is not necessary big events, but also maybe it's better a small event, but there are is necessary there is sustainable a contatto con la natura,
in contact with nature and with all the sustainable pillars that are integrated with that kind of events.
Yeah. But
okay.
It's not easy for me to explain my opinion. Maybe in Italian is
yeah, I for me is easier in English after all that than in Italian, but I understand a little of Italian. Okay,
possono andare di pari passo, in parallelo.
Okay, yeah, okay. So Alfredo, thank you and congratulations for this very interesting
Ricardo.
work.
Thank you,
and also
Irena.
to Barbara.
Yes, thank you, Ricardo, for question and comments and good mutual understanding in Italian speech.
Yeah.
So you have somebody else the question, because here money played the role and sustainability as well. So nobody more. Maybe the others are not so much involved in the business or in money, but it's necessary to have some balance between three aspects of sustainability, because without profit from sport tourism, some territories could not survive nowadays, because they have no other possibility to get some profit, to earn money. So we must take into account that sport tourism will continue, because it give life to many territories, mostly small territories, not only to big cities, but they depend on this. Yeah. So no other questions? So colleagues, we can stop this session.